today we're doing hot takes. We got a few of you to submit some spicy takes that everyone has about football, different opinions. Doesn't really do that well on the group chat, but you can tell us. We're gonna break them down. We might end up roasting you a bit, but that's just
These were
it is what it is.
What it is.
Okay. We got a whole bunch from this guy called Adil Nana on Instagram as well. So we're gonna do a separate segment where we break down his hot takes as well.
Hot
Um,
takes, shit takes.
okay, Kavinka Fdo 11, our inside man at the Grandstand podcast, has said, "Okay, legit hot take. City won't finish within the top two this season. What do you boys think?"
It's a shit take.
But that
City probably have a good chance of being in the first two. There's no real credibility behind that statement, Counter. You're just a Liverpool fan. That's about it.
Spicy. Adi, what do you think?
look, Liverpool have strengthened only their defense and nowhere else. And Kavinka just complained half the time that Liverpool haven't spent on anyone. Who does he expect to finish top two then? He's obviously gonna say Liverpool first, no. He's not gonna say Chelsea or Man United or anyone else. He hates Man U, he's a Liverpool fan. So that's like the stupidest out of the. I mean, I said a few really stupid ones in the hot takes comment section, but from the Premier League, City have won it like what 5 times in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
and he's really saying this season City is not going to finish just because Ronaldo came to Man U. Grealish has been coming. It's just I don't see it happening. It's either City second or first. It's like the competition at this point.
They finished third, bro, by a point. It's
I don't Kavika up with it either.
Nah, I definitely think they'll finish. They'll probably even win it.
Yeah.
It's
This
really hard
season,
to
I
say.
feel like they are like a good candidate. If if there's some basis of it, if you say any other team won't finish top two, I could understand any other team, but City has like the best chance of finishing top two, in my opinion. That being said, on a later date, I have a screenshot of Kavinka's prediction that's really shit. We'll share that on the
But
group there.
last season, if Kavika said this, we would have sort of agreed during the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
half of the season.
But not this season. Not
Right
this season.
now, we know that all their players are performing. It's not like they're underperforming. So it's a
Yeah.
very take to take at the moment.
Okay, what's the next one? Make it better than this shit.
Yeah.
Okay, Indy De Silva has said, this is an Arsenal comment, and we're hot off the press with our old Arsenal video saying Arteta deserves to stay in. Okay, so his take is enough trust in the process. Arsenal fans deserve better.
Arsenal fans had better and they wanted him to leave.
Yeah.
They had better and they said Wenger out. I think now you all just need to suffer with this. You all didn't realize what you all had until you all lost it. So now I don't know what to say.
It's more like they're satisfied with anything. Even if they get something good, they're like how Javed and all of them, they were like, Odegaard's great, but he's not. I mean, who do you all have? Like, Odegaard,
Because
what do you expect? No one's gonna come to Arsenal.
sometimes legit, and sometimes Arsenal fans are like, they're not Arsenal quality, bro. What is Arsenal quality? Bro, there is no quality, bro. You can't compare. They're like we need an Andre, bro. The team players like Andre need an Arsenal that was like in the invincible season, not like this. So yeah, there's no. Y'all don't deserve better, bro. Y'all just.
What about you? What do you think? Hot take.
Hot take. My hot take is that they should stick to Arteta, but that's not a hot take. I think if you really want to learn more about this, go to last week's video where we spoke to the boys and we went into great detail.
Good. Quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's about it. Like whatever they get, they're never happy with it. They don't deserve something better if you're never content.
Yeah, Arsenal is like that. Those brown aunties and uncles who always compare their kids' performances to like the neighbors' kids. They're never going to be satisfied. Just shut the up, guys. Yeah.
Jesus.
You can
You're be
that is
glad that you're even mid-table at this point, okay? Because you all don't deserve to be mid-table. And anyway, let's move on now before we start flaming Arsenal for an time.
Rafael Bonanza has said El Clasico hype is done for a while at least. Also, and we've got another comment by Flysimi who said El Clasico has peaked. Hype, excitement, and star power after the 2010s has stopped.
I saw the comment about after 2010. No, because why are you going back 11 years? Messi just left this season. Ronaldo left a few seasons ago. Like the hype was always there, and I don't think the hype has died completely. I just think it might not be that good this season and next purely because the teams aren't at the highest level. But that being said, they usually step up. It's just in recent years, not every El Clasico has delivered. But so if you judge it from an El Clasico point of view, the standards have dropped. But if you judge it from the standard of a football match, the El Clasico has consistently always been one of the best matches in the season. Like,
in the end, it is an El Clasico and has dropped. It may drop, but in the end, it's the top two teams, and people will watch it whether they like it or not.
yeah, if you take the last 10 years and the last, okay, and you look at every El Clasico in the last 10 years, okay, since that guy said 2010, and you take the Champions League final against Spurs versus Liverpool, okay, that match was worse than any single El Clasico match that has happened in the last 10 years. Okay, so you can't. There's levels to it, and like a lot of the time, the El Clasico is better than a lot of the finals in a lot of the competitions. So I don't think you can say that it's dropping. It's just not as good.
Here's my take on this. Is has the El Clasico of the last few seasons been better than a match like Liverpool City in like normal season? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like for
depends on
me,
how you look at it.
yeah,
Depends on your point of view.
yeah, I guess so. Like if you're a Barca fan or a Madrid fan, I'm obviously thinking like they matter more for you, right? So
Yeah,
definitely gonna.
I can tell you this much. There's I have whenever I tune into like the big matches, uh, say of the La Liga clubs and the big matches of the EPL clubs, I'm usually more disappointed with Premier League clubs in terms of the sometimes they just don't play good football. It's just two guys long ball physical. They're not exciting. They don't try to have a bit of flair. They're just trying to win and they show like a bit of small club mentality where they just want to win. They don't care anything about anything else. Whereas with the La Liga teams and even like if you want to take Bayern, they tend to uh, have a bit of flair as well as the killer instinct. Even if they lack the killer instinct, they still have a bit of flair. Whereas the Premier League team, sometimes those derbies and all really disappoint. Uh, like there have been nil-nil El Clasicos that have been way more exciting than 3-0 or 3-2s or whatever on the Premier League side because the goals have just been tag goals or tapping. There hasn't been a lot of class on the pitch. There hasn't been a lot of technique. It's just been boring, chance goal sort of thing.
Mhm.
My opinion.
Hot take. This is the first Clasico since Messi and Ronaldo left, right?
No shit, Messi left like a month ago. But yes,
Since both of them.
In like practice matches, nothing, right? I feel like this
no.
is the most interesting one in a long time because it'll be all other players and not highlight between Messi and Ronaldo performing in that El Clasico. So I feel like right now it's all new players or like existing players who have a point to prove between each other. So I feel like this Clasico might be the most interesting one to watch.
Yeah, I don't think the teams are evenly balanced at all because we are feeling so much youth. we couldn't even like fill our bench, I think, the last match because we have so many injuries. But yeah, so I should see how it goes. It's interesting, but I don't think it'd be like competitive.
Mhm. I think like I'd see like a 1-0 or like a 2-0, something really small scoreline. Um, we'll see. Okay, West 98 has said this is like a very long statement, Wesley. When players in professional teams flop, fans take it to themselves to say that they do better in those positions than the actual players. Um, or that do players deserve that type of slander, and takes like these are disrespectful for actual pro players. So basically saying that like if I don't know, someone like Martin Braithwaite does bad in Barca, and then he'd be like, I can play better than Barca. I can play better than Martin Braithwaite. And
So
yeah.
I watched a video recently, right? Roma actually found a comment where a fan was like, I can do better in this scenario. They
Uh,
flew to the stadium and they did 3 tries of the same attack. He failed to score in all 3. And then they asked him, would you ever do this again? Like slander players. And he was like, no, I don't think so. So clearly there's a disparity in the quality of football that a regular person plays.
People see like a chance and they're like, oh, with my friends, I score that. And the difference is like with your friends versus the professional team, uh, that move would have happened about 3-4 times faster than with your friends. Like a move that takes 11 seconds with your friends would have taken about 3 or 4 with a like professional team. Because the passes are so much more crisper, passes are so much more faster, the ball is moving quicker, their reflexes are better, whereas you take 5 touches to control the ball and then slice the ball, and your keeper is literally an outfield player just in goal who doesn't want to catch the ball, and it happens to go into goal. Like you can't compare.
yeah. Plus
It
the quality of opposition is also like so much better, right?
yeah,
Like,
technique wise and physical wise.
Watermelon has has said Mbappe shouldn't move to Real Madrid next season. Good club, but the league lacks competition. He should consider an EPL move.
No, he should move to La Liga. It'll be the best thing for him. EPL clubs aren't, in my opinion. I'm not sure any of the EPL clubs have that mentality just yet. I think Madrid has that killer mentality. I don't know if any of them have, because United used to have it. They've dropped to a point where they're like in a state of flux. City are extremely good on technique. They need better mentality. Spurs lack both on the technical side and the mentality side. Chelsea are work in progress. They look promising, but they haven't really.
They're not there yet.
They are not there yet. Have I missed out on
What
anyone?
about Liverpool? Did you say Liverpool?
Oh no, I didn't say Liverpool. Liverpool, no, because Liverpool remind me of Dortmund, which is they're a great team and all their players work together really well as a team. I'm not sure how much player like Mbappe would do with it, because it would change the dynamic from a team player to Mbappe being like a focal point.
Mm,
So yeah, because in my opinion, neither Mane or Salah are that much clear of the other person. It's there times when Mane is carrying the team, there are times when Salah carries the team, and it's like more or less fine. Even the right backs, left backs, it's pretty even. Like Trent and Robertson, like the quality they offer, stuff like that. It's a very team oriented team. It's not too individual based. I don't think it would be good for Mbappe or Liverpool to move there, or even just not on the same level in my opinion.
okay. Adil, do you have anything to add to that? Big
I
advocate
mean,
of Mbappe.
if Mbappe moves to any of the Premier League clubs, it wouldn't be centered around him. I feel like if he moves to Madrid, they'd create a team around him.
Mm,
And that's probably why I feel like he should move. And in terms of the quality of training and all of that is a lot superior to what I think Premier League's club go through. I just feel like the level of passing, the creativity, everything's a lot better. And I feel like Mbappe has gone through the rise in his career where he's come to a point where the exact point where Ronaldo moved to. Madrid is where Mbappe is currently at. Like he's proved himself over the years, and I feel like ideally Madrid would be the next location, or Spain would be the ideal place to be.
Yeah, he
And Premier League,
definitely.
Hot take that I'm going to throw out there. Uh, I I think he could move to Bayern though, because Bayern have that mentality. I don't know if he'll do well with Bayern. If he changes his attitude from a crybaby to uh, no, because Mbappe's attitude is poor. So if he changes attitude and he has that killer mentality, I think he'll do well at Bayern as well. But yeah, Premier League, I don't feel it's like they say competition like the Premier League is more competitive, but it's just that nobody is really at that extreme level. And the only reason now that they are on a level with Barca and Madrid is Barca's levels have dropped. They didn't reach that level, and I feel like Barca and Madrid both. You can't really say where the Premier League will be, but
but for
I don't think.
Bayern and Mbappe, I feel like more than anything, it's just won't suit that style of play.
Yeah, but
Like
I think
like
mentality is. I think Bayern fits better than than a Premier League club.
yeah,
I'm not
definitely.
saying they fit better than Madrid, but better than Premier League club.
Okay. This question is more for Adil. This take. Watermelon has said again, Mount and Lukaku doesn't they don't connect well.
Mount and Lukaku haven't played much, to be honest, to make that assumption yet. And I feel like Mount should play that holding midfielder role almost, where with but the formation is where it's not really that anymore. But from the matches that I've seen, I think Mount and Lukaku have played like 2 or 3 matches at most. Like Mount's been injured for some,
Mhm.
or was subbed off too soon.
We
So
we spoke about this, right? About Mount being better as a holding midfielder, where
yeah,
like he has more defensive actions, way more like, or probably the second most to Kante,
yeah,
in terms of like defensive pressures, interceptions, or tackles, whatever. Um, he would, yeah, even in my opinion, he would probably be better as a holding midfielder, or like in front of whoever's playing in DM, to create chances from there. But I think the Tuchel's Chelsea is a bit different. Like they've evolved a bit from what they were like when he first came in. You see like players like Kovacic, Jorginho doing different roles. Like Jorginho for Chelsea is not what he's doing for. He doesn't do what he does for Italy, right? Yeah, exactly. He's not like the guy who's creating passes from the back. He's not creating play. He's just there, a stalwart in defense. He's just like patrolling the probably like the front of their own half maybe, and getting in the way of other players. Yeah, I think definitely it's something that Tuchel could work with, because Mount is like still young and he's definitely evolving into a, yeah.
it's really too soon to say about that. And Lukaku just came into the team, so there's that as well. So
I also want,
Yeah.
I want to add that I don't think Mount is an out and out defensive midfielder. I think
Mhm.
he's a physical midfielder and like he's got defensive attributes. But I think his best position would be with an actual defensive midfielder behind him and he plays maybe a deeper role because to put him completely as a defensive midfielder, I think he's a bit of a waste of his attacking attributes as well.
Yeah.
I think what they meant with this Mount Lukaku comparison is a
Lampard did
assumption that
sort of
no,
connection is
I think that Mount does well when players make runs off the side and create space, like Werner. I think that they're saying that Lukaku can't make those runs, is what I'm saying. But that is, I don't think I think it's too soon to say. I don't see why they can't do well if they adapt a little bit to each other's game. But and I think they're both players who can do that. So I don't see why they shouldn't. It's up to them really whether they do well or not. It's not like they're not two players who cancel each other out. It's just a slightly different. They can both adapt.
Yeah. It's like I think it's almost like he has to make his mind up between choosing Havertz and Lukaku to play up front as compared to like anyone else, right? Like Werner is on the bench
But
now.
Tuchel has said he's gonna play Havertz the most.
Yeah.
So
I think Havertz is probably like his star player at the moment.
I like how
I-
Havertz went from a reject to the star player. Like when he
Well,
first joined, everyone was like, oh,
again, like
reject, reject.
I don't think he was that much of a reject. He was just like he just
He
took.
was never a reject. He
Yeah,
was never a reject.
see, Havertz didn't try. Like the moment Tuchel came in, there was a huge difference in the first game itself. He was pressuring a lot more. He was making a lot of runs more. And like with Lampard,
like it's almost like a competent coach came in.
Okay, yeah.
I guess
Let's not slander Frank and let's not get off topic.
Hey man.
the
Okay.
coach is like most has won a trophy.
Oh no! Yeah, I mean, well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Wait. Okay. So Shahir for .04 has said, Ronaldo coming to Man United doesn't change the fact that the squad still can't compete with the big teams with squad depth in EPL and UCL.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
True.
Um,
True. True, right? I don't think that's a hot
yeah.
take. I think
I don't know. Like, no, the thing is, like,
Ronaldo coming doesn't change the fact that they can't compete in terms of squad depth. It doesn't change the squad depth. I would say Ronaldo coming might change the fact that they can compete on a competition level, like in their tournaments, because he brings clutch goals and probably 20, 30 goals. Probably.
I think this is still
For
a
the
hot
season?
take because most of the pundits, like for some reason, like almost everyone I've seen, even like the big media companies have been like, okay, this is probably United's best chance to win uh, a trophy, and like they can probably win the Champions League, which I kind of found hard to believe because like I don't really think Ronaldo come. Sure, there's he's gonna score goals, but like
Let me put it this way. Let
yeah,
me put it this way. Barca with Messi was still able to compete. Okay. But that didn't mean that we would compete with other teams in terms of squad depth because we had from our first 11, we had players missing. It's just that Messi filled in the gaps in terms of like carrying the goals, assists, making sure we won like that, taking the pressure off like players carrying it on himself. So I feel like that is what people are going off. That he will be the difference in games. But I still think it doesn't make a difference in terms of squad depth. Like your squad depth is, I agree with the opinion. Squad depth is not going to be changed. Like you might be overrun for 90 minutes, okay, and concede one goal, but Ronaldo might score two clutch goals in two clutch moments and win you the game. That didn't mean that you couldn't compete. You could compete on a squad level. It just means that you had somebody who made the difference.
yeah, good, well put.
Thanks.
Thanks. Well, compare this team to like a team like Chelsea. Obviously, in terms of squad depth, like you saw, like when United played West Ham with their
Yeah.
second team, probably like he only rested like all 11 players. It's a completely different team, and like this is the supposed B team, the difference team. So if a team like Chelsea did that, would they still lose? Probably not, right?
I think it all, to be honest, came down to the manager because last season, same team, Tuchel and Lampard. Tuchel came in when he said that Chelsea are going to be a team that will be unbeatable. Everyone laughed. I didn't take him seriously. So, so like it all, I guess, comes down to the manager. I mean, your second team isn't too bad. He just played a lot of players who haven't played in a long time, and some are unfit. I guess some lack the confidence. I guess they're not polished as yet because even I had mentioned in one of the comments that Ole needs, I think, one more season to really prove himself because he's almost there with the squad. I think that he wants. I think the with one more transfer window is where he'll really need to be. And Sancho just came in, and like people are already judging him on his performances. They're all young players, and I feel like it's partially true, but it's football in the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
We
think
said
United also lack in the midfield here. To clarify, the hot take is that they can't compete on a squad depth level, which is true, but they
true.
still
Yeah.
may be able to compete uh, and win a match. Perfect example is Barca versus Liverpool, where we beat them 3-0. We could not compete with Liverpool squad depth for sure. Like there was no way we could compete with Liverpool squad depth, but we beat them on that. We went and lost them second leg 4-0, but we beat them 3-0 in the first leg. And our squad depth was terrible compared to Liverpool's. Terrible compared to anything.
Yeah.
But
It's fun.
yeah, that's pretty much what the breakdown is.
Okay. Okay, this is a nice one. Dion Samuel. Okay, not because I'm a United fan, but Dion Samuel says City as a club have no personality. Even money clubs like RB Leipzig and PSG have their uniqueness and some sort of identity. City got none of that.
How does
Disagree.
he have identity?
PSG,
Yeah.
I don't know. He said it. um,
I
More of an identity.
disagree.
PSG.
Yeah, I think City have a okay. Before Ronaldo joined back, I think City had a better identity than United, Spurs. Uh, who else in the top? I think Chelsea had a decent identity. I think Liverpool have a decent identity because they're very cultive. Uh, Better than Arsenal. Uh, so I think only Chelsea and Liverpool are the teams that I'd say maybe had a better identity than City. It's just that City accumulates a lot of hate, and everything that City does is dismissed. They're like, it's like City could win the Champions League. They'll be like, City has no fans. They'll be like Moneyball that.
do you
They'll be
think?
like,
Sorry, James. Like, do you think winning the Champions League would finally like stop this narrative?
No.
no,
Or
no,
no?
no chance.
Pep spent for 2
Uh,
years and finally won the UCL. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
you know how United used to take so much shit saying United spend money, United bought the refs, United did this, United did that. Now United has become like what they used to hate. As in, they used to be like, oh, people just hate us. They're just small clubs and they're talking shit. United have become that now, and they do that to other clubs. And I feel like not everyone, because they're still sensible United fans, but there's a lot of deluded United fans. United, Arsenal, uh,
Liverpool
they
sometimes.
are no. I won't put Liverpool into the bracket just yet. Those two teams, most deluded fans. Like they have the biggest small club mentality I have ever seen in my life. Liverpool had that. They're performing somewhat well, but I would say Liverpool, Arsenal, and United have the biggest small club mentality at this point. Because I'm not shitting on Dulan, because Dulan is like a really good United fan, but they have they have small club mentality to the point where they have to shit on other teams to make them feel better about themselves. Like because at the end of the day, they are not winning anything. I only didn't put Liverpool in because Liverpool are winning, like consistently good. Arsenal are like down here and United are here, but United think they are the best team in the world, and they'll be like, "Oh, our squad isn't ready yet, but who is better than United?" It's like that they're saying we are not good enough to compete, but we're still the best. Like in terms of what you just like them the best, you're not the best, and they hate on City, and I don't think City deserves the hate that they get. Like for what? What do they deserve? The hate for? Like
That
they are,
they won the treble. That was they were like Capital One Cup, Community Shield doesn't matter. Like
yeah,
100 points. Yeah, they have Aguero. And like whatever they do, it's literally undermined to a point where you don't consider it an achievement. And
yeah.
it's
It
it's
was
inside.
was it Fergie's last season that City won?
No.
Uh,
No, right?
no,
United
the season.
won.
United won the last season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the season before.
Okay, season before. But
Um,
I think that loss really stung United fans, and they didn't care about it instantly because the next season they won, and they were like, "Oh, we're back, noisy neighbors," and then they went to shit, and then like the insecurities crept in because they were like, "City is going up," and they just fell apart. And now they have small club mentality, which is sad.
Okay, hear me out. If you take United out of the picture and look at the statements saying that like City have no personality, and like RB Leipzig and PSG do because they have some sort of identity. What
Okay,
kind of identity does City have, in your opinion? Like, I have a good idea of what I would say, but like, let's start with you, I guess.
I think City are being dismissed as, oh, like people say that City is like a team that, they're acting like City just came in, got a owner this season, and they spent so much money like this season. But that's not been the case. Like City have been around for a while now. City have won quite a few things. They've won quite a couple of Premier League titles. City beat Ferguson's United. Um, they've been doing better in the Champions League than a lot of Premier League clubs. Um, if you take out like Liverpool did well, but if you when did they win the Champions League? What no? What was the year they got to the final with Madrid? 2018 or 19?
18. 19 they won.
Okay, 2018. That's just 3 years ago. If you go back beyond that, Liverpool are not even in the picture. Uh, they weren't competition at that point. But City were. If you go back to that point, Arsenal were still not competition. City were. United to be taken out, but they weren't competition at the point. City were. Spurs weren't in competition. City were. Um, who is left? Chelsea. Chelsea was this up and down,
Up and
right?
down.
Well, at that point, I'm not sure if they were up or down, but I still think City were doing better than them.
Yeah.
So
I'd say City has been the most consistent team.
yeah, what other team is there?
And Duran, let me ask you this. City has spent an amount, Man U has spent an amount. Out of the players that both of y'all have bought, who has reaped more benefits and seen a return better?
Obviously, City, right?
Yeah,
So I guess Ian's really, because Man U has spent a thumping amount on players, like example Martial, and he performed a season and a half at most with all the games counted.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry.
Sane, Mahrez, they've all performed, and I just it's literally just jealousy at this point. He envies what City
Yeah,
have done.
I don't think the whole the what do you call it, the identity argument is that valid, to be honest. Like, you have clubs that are smaller than like all these big teams coming and performing, and like, what sort of identity do they have? Like, what do you say when you mean identity? Like, the players they have, their history, probably history, right? But then, sure, but then in the next 100 years, like when you look back around this time, what are you gonna think, like that City had no identity, or that City won countless Premier League titles, or like,
It's just an hating, right?
yeah,
Because if you look at a social media point of view, or like just in terms of, and people are gonna be like, oh, nobody cares about social media. A lot of people care about social media now because like a lot of the younger fans are on social media. I feel like City is doing a really good job in terms of their YouTube and their content and their community. Their players are a lot more marketable than a lot more other players, like to the younger generations. Um, Sterling has featured in multiple YouTubers in the English in England, multiple YouTubers channels. City's channel has gotten on multiple English YouTubers that are pretty big. For example, the Sidemen, stuff like that. KSI, they've been on City players have been on their channels. So like their identity with the youth is there. Like they are mixing quite well on a social point of view.
Dion asked that question, right?
yeah.
Tell me, Dion, where the did Leipzig have identity before Red Bull gave them money? That's all I want to know. His basis is going off that Leipzig has a better fan base is just because they're Germans. That's literally it. I'm pretty. That's why he's saying it. Because Leipzig didn't have a fan base. They're from a small town in Germany. There was barely any fans. The moment the money got injected, they managed they did perform. They happened to get negative. They got good players. They got good managers. They came up the standards. But put that aside, City have so much identity than that, and it's again it's undermining. It's insulting to even compare City's achievements with Leipzig, and Leipzig haven't won anything apart from getting promoted from Bundesliga 2 to Bundesliga 1. And yeah, it's more annoying than anything else. I think that's the hottest hot take that we've had.
Wait,
That's a
There's
shittiest.
another.
That's the only thing worse than Covington's hot take. And PSG only have that much clout because of Mbappe and Neymar and now Messi. Okay, before those guys, they didn't have any fans. I mean, compared to City's level, they didn't have that kind of fan base. They got Mbappe and Neymar through the roof, bro. And PSG have a decent identity, so yeah, I'm not going to say that they don't. But you can't put Leipzig in the picture, and I think City are.
PSG is 1970 founded. City is like 1892. They have won
Yeah.
trophies before they did get money. So there's really that. There's nothing that Dion can say
You
that
can't compare. You can't compare.
that's true. It's
Oh, and if you want to compare, PSG having a better image than City. Fucking dog. Bro.
even Buddy is like, what are you
It's not even my dog. It's not even my dog. It's a neighbor's dog.
The neighbor's
It's my
dog.
dog.
saying?
I will go and say, but like, it's like PSG have a better identity than a lot of Premier League clubs. Okay, if you take the bottom half easily, if you take the top half, they're up there with a lot. And if you ask like the people around, like the youth now, I'm sure if PSG are better than City in the youth's eyes, they're better than every club in
If
the
at all,
Premier League.
the Championship too have more identity than all the Premier League clubs, because Nottingham Forest has 2 Champions Leagues. Where are they? Nowhere near the Premier League.
Yeah, if you're gonna put all this compared, but
Yeah.
no, I think they mean in terms of identity as like a club. Yeah, I think I can't say that City doesn't have identity. City has a really good identity. You can't.
Get on to this call now. We
Oh,
have
Sorry.
so Dion's put another comment in.
Okay.
Another hot take. Phil Foden is the only top tier youngster playing in England. Mason Mount, Greenwood, Sancho are all on the same level as Gravenberch, Arjuano, and Llorena, who are all considered a tier or two below the highest level. He's saying
Agree.
that Foden's the only good Foden is on a tier above the rest, basically, in England, and everyone else is.
I think Greenwood also has potential to be on Foden's level. But I don't know. Foden has potential to be like pretty good as well. Maybe Foden edges it in terms of Greenwood, but I don't think Mount and them are like on a different level compared to him right now at this point. Potential wise, okay, maybe because he's younger, but nah.
I honestly think, like, in terms of like flair and all that, Foden probably wins it. But in terms
Yeah,
of
but
like,
that's not.
yeah, that's not the whole thing, right? In terms of like the whole package,
Yeah.
as in, like, who would come in your team and make a big difference at that age, I think Greenwood probably wins it as well, right? Like, he would come in and score a goal like out of nowhere. And like even Sancho, like, he got like the highest assist in the. I mean, not Sancho now, but obviously he's still like new to the team, right? He's still bedding in. Like Sancho at Dortmund, definitely, right? Um,
If you check Sancho's Dortmund stats, it would put him above and beyond every other that we did mention right now. Like, it's insanely good. Like, his minutes per this is insane.
The only reason I dropped Sancho is because he's in a phase where he's struggling to find his feet, and he's in a club that is also struggling to find their feet. So I don't know if that will limit his ability to get there. But that being said, if you look at every player right now in this particular moment in time, I think I would definitely put Mount at number one because he's the most mature, he's the most solidified, and he's the most critical player probably for their respective teams, in my opinion. I think he's a more rounded player at this point of time. I'm not saying potential wise, I'm saying if you look at them now, I think Mount probably is number one. I know you can see Greenwood's amazing and he's scoring a lot of goals, but he's still a bit raw,
Yeah.
and Foden's still a bit raw, and so is Sancho. Whereas Mount feels like the most mature player. He doesn't. He feels like he's a proper player who's established, but he too has a while to go.
Let's
So
not forget
yeah,
Bellingham.
Jude.
let's
Jude
forget
Bellingham.
Bellingham for now, because I think Bellingham has potential, but I don't know how much he has proved.
No, he's good. I think he'll be
I'm not
like
saying he's
a
not.
very yeah. I mean, like compared to the rest, obviously he's still
The
not
I don't
as
think he can earn the right to be in the comparison. All you Bellingham fans and all of them, like they are hyping him a lot because he's 17. Okay, but Odegaard was 17 once. Okay, and we saw how that went. Like him getting a good move at a young age doesn't mean anything. He needs to establish himself at those clubs and do well at a high level, and then you can uh, compare him with the rest. Is what I'm saying.
but Bellingham has performed. Like he is performing. But then again, you can
Not
say
only
that
you can't compare it you can't compare it to Sancho, you can't compare it to Mount, you can't compare it to Foden, and you can't compare it to who's the other guy? That I forgot, Greenwood. I don't think you can. He's on a level below at this point. Not in terms of potential, but in terms of just overall. Maybe it's because his career path is different, and the clubs he's been to have not been at that level yet.
and
He's at
obviously
Tottenham, and he was
his playing position, right? He's not a
yeah,
and it's what he plays holding.
yeah. He's definitely a more defensive player.
yeah. So it's like given the position also, he'll take a longer time to
I
mature and peak.
seen Bellingham play, but it's just a clout at the moment. So like
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes. He's still young. He's like
Yeah,
extremely young.
yeah. My friend called Mushfiq. Okay, uh, he said scoring a hat trick in the Bundesliga is like scoring one goal in the Premier League.
How does that make sense?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Can
Okay.
this be
I mean, I agree that like the quality in the Bundesliga or like I don't know, man. Like
No,
I'm not even
you can't.
gonna say
It
like the
doesn't
quality
mean
of the
it doesn't mean
Bundesliga is yeah. It's
it's a different. I don't because I don't see Premier League players going to the Bundesliga and doing amazing.
like
The
the
Premier League players
main
are content to sit in the Premier League
yeah.
and not go anywhere. And there are people come to us, but they don't do challenges.
Mm.
Where did Rooney go? Rooney didn't leave. Where did all these great players go? Like they didn't leave. So it's a shit take. No shit.
bringing Rooney into this was a shit take. Leave Rooney out of it.
No,
But
I'm just saying as an example. Rooney's an amazing player. He would have done well, but still, he
it's
didn't go.
just because of Sancho that all these players are leaving the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like they're all
Yeah,
taking that.
Like
Like before,
Reece Nelson went and did really well at Hoffenheim. I mean, Jude Bellingham is doing great, but he wasn't really a Premier League player. He was more of a Champions League player. But it's
yeah.
still same.
You- that Tahit Chong, right? Even he's doing quite
Yeah,
okay.
Tahith Chong. So many. It's just like it's kind of different. It's a whole different playing style. The only thing I'll say is that like obviously Bayern have a much higher monopoly in that league where like they could just like swoop in and
take anyone they want.
yeah, exactly right. And that's not a judge like a basis on how the quality of different teams are. It's more based on like the infrastructure that Bayern have and like the amount of money they have. So like uh yeah, I think
But
that's
also the Bundesliga plays a lot more youngsters than the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like, but getting back to the
And
point, just a stupid. I don't know.
you can't compare. Another hot take. I was trying to get this person to comment. They didn't want to comment because they were scared they'd get hate. Okay, she's a United fan, and I was
United fans.
it's not Karija. And I was like, why don't you support a better club like Barca? And then she was like, ha ha ha, better coach. And I'm like, yes, when was the last time? When was the last time you like
Okay,
won
okay.
something? Like, what do you win? Okay, I went through that, and she's like, her hot listing was like, sometimes it's not about winning; it's about like how you feel when you watch a club. And I'm like, what? That's the whole point of the game to win. So, what is your thoughts on? Would you prefer winning? Would you prefer feels?
What?
Feels like how
Feels.
you feel
Feel.
excited.
Vibes.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
gonna be like completely different depending on who you support, right? Like
Yeah,
obviously the team you support is gonna make you feel better and like feel, I
Say
don't
the
know.
angry rant man Chelsea fan.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Like you're way more passionate about a team you support than like a different team, and like um
I have a
obviously,
good example.
yeah.
I have seen Barca play amazing football, unbelievable football, and not win a game because they were playing against Atletico and they just get fouled and tackled and like they don't win, right?
Yeah.
And that frustrated me, and I did not enjoy that one bit. And there have been games where we won and we didn't play that great football. I'm like, okay, fine, we are winning. This is what matters.
Mm.
If we win, we can put in, we can compete for finals stuff like that, and from there we can build up. And if we don't keep winning and we don't win trophies and we don't bring in revenue, we're not going to be able to make the adjustments we need anyways on a financial point of view to play better football. I would choose, uh, it obviously both are important, but the only time you choose feels and like the excitement you feel like watching your team is when you don't support a team that wins. Like you don't support a highly competitive team. You're one of those, mid-table clubs who you go to Liverpool and you're like, oh yes, we drew with Liverpool.
It's time we moved on to some of the comments that Adil has put in. Starting off with Adil Nana has said, Fatih is overrated.
No, he's not. He's incredibly mature for his age, so you can't overrate him.
Why not?
It's obvious when a player from Barca or Madrid at a young age does well that the casuals either overhype him or underrate him and they hate on him. So I think it's more that people are hating on him, that people think he's overhyped. People are like, oh, he's not going to be the next Messi. And people are like, who said he was? Like, nobody has said that, okay?
I'm not
Except
I'm not
that
gonna
he
say
will be casual.
I'm not comparing him
He's
to a
not.
Messi level or whatever, but my problem is not with Fatih. It's the fact that for his stats, the amount that transfer market and all the other pages have valued him, the valuation that he was at for the statistics
Oh,
that he had
no.
performed is way too much.
Uh,
He was he has scored every 2.3 games, right?
okay.
He has played about 70 odd games and he scored about 35 goals, and his valuation was at 70 million. That's absurd. You can't value a player. That doesn't make sense in
It
any way.
does. If you have you watched him play? Have you consistently watched him play?
I watched a few games.
The
How is
his
70
his
million justifiable in any way?
his, his stats are incredibly hampered by the fact that the rest of the team is not that good. He's also extremely young. He's also incredibly mature. He's for his age, he's one of the most mature players I have ever seen in my life. Like he doesn't rush into things. He's not very he's not like those youngsters who are exciting and they do this crazy dribble and goals. He plays like he's been playing football for a while, and he's 28 years old, and he's the focal point of the team. Like he has that level of maturity in him. So it's going off that and the fact that he's so young and he only gets so much better. There was a point where it was just Messi and then it was Fatih, and there was that is why you compare because Messi's stats are severely hampered by the fact that the team misses so many goals that he sets up. Same goes for Fatty. Like he didn't get like the cutback he should have. He's not getting the support he should be getting. So if you look at that, uh, it's like awkward because you can't even compare him to a good player in a bad team because the setup is different. Uh, but it's extremely hampered. So I would say, yeah, it's fair. Like I would see the value in paying that much. I understand it doesn't look that much on a statistical point of view. If they may have overhyped him and put that tag, but if they have watched him play and put that tag, then it's worthwhile, in my opinion.
Hmm.
70 million is a lot, but like, um, didn't United pay 80 for Maguire? Like, Fati's potential is, as a player, he's
You
not
bring Maguire into this.
because
That was
because
an
like
unnecessary choice.
I honestly think like valuation is just like whatever at this point. Honestly, like
how much
especially
was
for youngsters, I think
It's
it's
more to do with my problem with the valuation than the player itself because
okay?
like
How much was Sancho? How much was Sancho?
Sancho they paid 85 and
Okay, Sancho was paid 85,
yeah.
85,
yeah, 85.
and
Let's just say
he
85.
he had like a season left or something on his contract, right?
I don't
This was his last season. Yeah. So like a season.
Yeah, so only a season left and 85, right? Party's 70 is a valuation. It is not a fee. Okay, the fee could be less, the fee could be more. It could fluctuate, right? But I don't see the like the issue with that fee. It's on the high end, yes. Like it could be on a low end, but it's not like incredible. It's not saying pay 150 million for Sancho because that would have been like whoa. But if you said, oh, we're paying 120 for Sancho, we'll be like, that's kind of high. But like, fair enough. It's high end, but you pay 120 for Sancho. If you paid like 150, 180 for Sancho, you'd be like, no, what the fuck? So I think Fati is not overvalued. It's just on the high end. And his stats can't back up like his impact.
Like Wolves paid
40
35
million.
million, 40 million for Fabio Silva, right? And he was like what? He hadn't played like a stretch of 10 games maybe in the league now.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
they just to gamble with that purchase because he hadn't done anything. He was an 18-year-old player from Portugal, and I don't know why they paid so much.
Also, Fati's valuation is a reflection of how important he is to the Barca team. Obviously, if you're extremely important, your value goes up even more than what it would normally be. If Fati was playing for Dortmund or a different team, okay, or Madrid or whatever, actually Madrid his value might have been even higher. But if he was playing for a Premier League team or something, his valuation would probably be like 40 to 50. Okay, but Barca see their future in him is what I feel because they gave him the number 10 shirt, and he would have got the number 10 shirt at one point or another.
Yeah, I get that.
That was his. So, yeah,
I think
don't think.
to be honest, if I was rephrase my question, I have more problem with transfer market valuation. Than
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, Adil just had Adil thought it was. I think transfer market is shit.
Like I was scrolling through transfer market and I saw Sancho stats and he was only valued at like 110, 120, and then I see Fati at like 70, and I'm like, what is the logic behind this? Like you can't. It doesn't make sense. And even like the English tax on players is like insane. Like Declan Rice is valued at 70. Like he may be valued by the club for 70, but it's still a lot.
This is me deleting your hot take.
Are you gonna delete all?
Leave.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Go back. You can delete that, but you can never delete the screenshot we did.
Okay. Next one. Adil has said Zidane can't and won't do it with another club. Do what? Win the Champions League or do well?
He's a man manager in the end. If at all, he might go to Bayern. Goes to Bayern, he might replicate the same form.
Yeah, if he goes to Bayern, yes, I see.
Managed well, and he'll get the respect that he deserves, and that's why Nagelsmann is doing well, and that's why I feel Nico Kovac didn't do too well because he came from Frankfurt and he just won one trophy, and I feel like the players didn't respect him too much to give that performance. Nagelsmann is a youngest coach, has proved it with Hoffenheim, which is not the greatest team. Did it with Leipzig. He has been consistent, and he will get the performances required by the players. And paying that 30 million for Nagelsmann to Leipzig will reap rewards for Bayern. So for me, Zidane, I don't see him
Yeah,
going to another time soon
yeah.
unless
I don't think it's a hot take either. He's a very good man manager. Here's what I feel: there are three clubs who are really good teams who could win the Champions League based off good man management. One is Liverpool. Uh, Zidane can't go there because the styles are not compatible. I don't feel like he'll get the respect. I feel like they have a very that he won't buy into that cult thing because he's Madrid, who is Liverpool, and they're going to look at him kind of like a who is this guy from the Spanish league. I feel like there won't be the mutual respect, so I don't think that will work. It could, but I don't think it will. Liverpool, City is the other one. I don't think that will work either because Pep came from Barca, implemented that way. I don't think he'll go there. I think it's difficult to like
Again,
change
the
from
playing style.
that highly technical
Yeah.
manager with a really good man management to just a man manager. So I don't think it's possible. Bayern is the team that I could see him do well at because their team is already good. Like you don't have to tweak too much. You just have to bring the best out of players, which is good.
I think France national team or PSG would be an ideal route for.
Looking at football through a business lens, I don't believe footballers should stay loyal to one club, leaving aside Messi. Just because he didn't want to trigger James.
Yeah. I know topic come up because he's the highest paid footballer, royalties, all that is there, and he's a generational talent. So leaving aside the generational talent, I don't see why players should be loyal to a club because the moment you get injured or you don't perform as much, the club won't think twice to sell you off because you're just
It's the same as a normal job, right? You
yeah.
should be if you're getting paid what you want and if you're getting treated well, you stay. If you're happy doing what you do, you stay. But after a point, maybe you want a different experience or something, and then you leave. But you leave on good terms. You don't leave on bad terms, sort of thing. But the problem is, yes, they shouldn't be loyal. But I think there's a gray area between being loyal and being disrespectful, and people haven't understood that. People think if you're loyal, you will earn respect, and there's a lot of players that have been shown that that is not the case. People also think that you have to do what's best for you, and they have been labeled as money hungry. So football is in the stage where, or sports in the stage where it's run by people with a lot of emotions, the fans, and it's not easy to always do what's best for you and be shown in the best light. What's best for you may not be best for you, sort of thing. Like
Do you
it may
feel like
reflect
Grealish has found that gray area?
huh?
Do you feel like Grealish has found that gray area?
Where he's done what's
Moving to
best for him. Yeah, I
yeah,
think moving to City was probably the best move he could have done. Reason being is he upgraded after staying a long time. He went to a team that wasn't completely a powerhouse. They can be, they just haven't found a killer instinct. He went to a team that's still in the same country, which is his own country. He still has his own fans cheering for him. So English fans. Whereas and he went to a team that's only hated because of the money injection that they get. There's no real other, reason to hate them. That is Liverpool is cultish, United is a bit cultish now, and they've just got bad blood and good blood. It's like weird. Uh, Chelsea I hated because God knows why anymore. But I think, I think, I think City was the best place you could have gone.
I think it's a combination of the transfers that Aston Villa have made as well. It's not like they took 100 million and they've got Leon Bailey, they've got Buendia, they've basically upgraded each position. Danny Ings up front. I think
Yeah,
what the manager had done, the team as well, is a good shout to say that
yeah.
the fans aren't
They got a
delicious.
better team. They lost
Yeah.
their best player, but overall they
Right.
became a better team.
Juventus won't win it for the next 2 or 3 seasons.
That's not a hot take. That is highly probable.
Yeah, okay. I agree. I agree. I agree.
Mourinho will completely change Roma.
I don't think he'll completely change them. I think he'll bring them out to the competitive level of what they used to be.
The treble with Roma.
He's not gonna win the treble with Roma, bro. What the fuck?
He might win a treble with Roma, not the treble. He might win Europa League, the Serie A,
he could
and
win.
domestic cup.
I don't think. I think he'll win a trophy. Maybe like if you're being really optimistic, maybe two. But like I don't think he'd win like.
No, on a potential level, Mourinho has the potential to make that team win. Look at Serie A; it's not in a good state. He can win the league. The teams he could win a club competition. All he has to do is struggle will be winning the Europa League, and that's possible. He could win it. Where did Lukaku go from before United? Where was he?
Everton.
Yeah, I think he should have gone to Chelsea, and Morata should have gone to United.
Yeah,
I was saying
it
from the
looks
start.
like they switched right at the end. Like
Yeah.
if you yeah.
Which is sad because Chelsea needed a striker who would score goals, and United needed like a bit of a ball carrying striker, and they got exactly what the difference.
But like Mourinho would have bullied Morata so much. Like I'm telling you.
I don't think so. I think Morata did well with Mourinho, right, at Madrid?
No, I'm not saying he wouldn't have done well. I'm just saying like there would have been like so much tension.
No, I think Mourinho would have got the best out of Morata because Morata came on. Morata started in El Clasico under Mourinho, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that was the next season.
I don't think
that's the next season.
I think after Mourinho left.
That was Ancelotti.
Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, I'm not saying he wouldn't have done bad. Like I'm just saying like there would have been like some sort of
if Werner, Morata, if Mourinho like had a soft spot for those players, like that would be like amazing because they're all players who are so good, but like they choke a lot. I feel like he'd be turn them into demons. But borderline racist statement from Mourinho, he was like, my strikers have to be African.
Black. He said
no, he didn't say black. He didn't say black. He said they need to be of African heritage. African heritage.
Mourinho meant what he meant. But he likes bullish strikers. He doesn't like the...
Yeah, he would have... I'm pretty sure he preferred Lukaku or Morata, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, Lukaku, Eto'o, all of them are like the same build. Didier, Drogba...
So I was having some Milo during the podcast. So,
apparently, have you tried Nesta Malt and tea? Apparently, it's like a thing, but
I've tried it. It's good.
Nesta Malt is terrible.
I think you need milk. You can't have it without milk. It's weird, but you can try.
That's where I fucked up.
Okay.
Nesta Malt. Yeah. Okay, guys. Unpopular opinion or popular opinion. Nesta Malt is terrible. Horlicks is terrible, and any coffee except for Nescafe is terrible.
Wait, you're talking about the packet?
The coffee as in like actual coffee?
Anything.
Or like... Wow, okay, so this guy is a hater.
No, I can drink Nescafe from the machine. But everything else is like...
That's just sugar and water. That's why you
I knew Adil would say this. Adil, you know what you are? Like, you're the coffee drinker of those dudes who date like 18-year-old girls when they're 27, get their heart broken, and then they post quotes.
The Muslim culture, James.
The setback is...
The Muslim comeback is... I didn't choose it.
Okay, no, I was saying again because you interrupted. Adil, you are basically those 28-year-old dudes who date an 18-year-old for like a month, get their heart broken, and then post posts like the comeback is greater than the setback. I hope he treats you better. Okay, I wish you the best, but you already had it. All that shit. You're the equivalent of that in coffee drinking. Like, if anybody drinks coffee with anything except water, Adi is like, hey, bro, you don't get the sustenance, bro. You don't get the authentic taste, bro.
What about hot chocolate?
Nothing great. I know it depends on who makes it. Like if you hot chocolate from the packet, it's shit. But if you like actually, if you make it with like cocoa and like you take your time and make hot chocolate, it's nice. But if you like Cadbury powder, it's garbage.
I think for me, hot chocolate, and I think it's everyone, hot chocolate's overrated. People romanticize hot chocolate because they associate hot chocolate with like a cold night and cuddling and drinking hot
Dude,
chocolate. I hate all three of those things. I don't like hot chocolate. I don't like fucking cold weather. I don't like cuddling. Fucking
so
all
like,
three shit things, all fucking overrated, made by some fucking advertisement trying to like
Really says I hate cuddling.
Ricard is in
I
tears.
couldn't have hot chocolate during uni because I used to fall asleep when I had hot chocolate, like during the lecture, because it was that bad. It's like I'm not gonna have hot chocolate for the rest of my life because of that. Milo somehow works.
You're done with the university. You can just have hot chocolate now, right?
Yeah, exactly. I could.
Yeah, I just stopped this man from like refraining from having
No. But
hot chocolate.
what I was gonna say is like I still prefer Milo over like.
Oh yeah, because you
over
have a
hot
brain.
But do you prefer Milo because of the association you have with childhood, or do you actually like the taste?
No, I actually like the taste. Also, like tinned Milo tastes nothing like the one that comes in the carton.
Oh yeah,
And like that carton also tastes different depending on which country you're in. As do a lot of things, but like mostly Milo. um, so we should like do a tier list of like the malt drinks and like the beverages. What goes on top?
James.
I said me as Adil said James. Anyways,
You know what I really love? Coffee Mate. I use that creamer so much. It's so good.
Really?
Yeah, I love Coffee Mate. But I did stop it for a while because Aussie, you get the health benefits and stuff, right? And there are stars.
Yeah.
It was 1 star.
Oh yeah.
And I was
Definitely.
sometime.
I just drink milk, bro. Just froth your milk.
It's not the same.
Is
Coffee
it
Mate,
different taste?
it's the same, bro. Coffee Mate is so good.
It's creamer, right? Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
Adil went from guys drink black coffee and water to Coffee Mate is amazing, guys. Fuck milk. Can you get Coffee Mate? Oh, bro, I want to deep throat coffee.
Oh,
Coffee Mate.
so raunchy.
You got put this on YouTube. We get the
No,
channel
we
cancelled.
will just.
No, it'll get strike. It'll actually get
We'll
strike.
get demonetized. As if we make money.
Earning so much money to get demonetized.
So okay, let's move on to like. What about tea? Let's move on to tea.
Tea is overrated.
It is.
It is
I
overrated.
can't believe you said that like Adil of all people.
No, in my
Like,
opinion, coffee, tea.
But you just said that coffee is worse than everything. So like is tea like
Not worse than everything. I said black coffee is worse than everything.
Oh, I was so confused for a second. Okay.
I had black coffee once, and nobody told me how to drink it, and I didn't like the taste, so I put a lot of sugar. I still didn't like the taste, and it was a massive mug, and it was made by this foreign girl. So I don't know if they make coffee differently, like they put extra like coffee in it or whatever. But like I didn't like it, so I held my nose and I downed it, and for the rest of the day I was a little fucked. Like I was like, I'm fine. Like I walked in the stairs, I'm like, hey guys, and then like I'm in the store, and like my heart is pounding, and I'm like, I don't feel good. I went and sat down. I was like, maybe I'm tired. I sat down. I'm like, I don't feel good. Like I'm sitting down, and I still feel like I need to sit down. Like so, like I was just like on the floor, like the fuck is happening to me? And like I was messed up for about an hour, and then it was okay, manageable for a while, but like I didn't like it.
I think to fully appreciate coffee, you have to have like a nice espresso shot. Honestly, with like
I had a espresso shot from Hilton. Man, it was so good. Like I didn't
How
get
much it
that
cost though?
like 400.
Fuck. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but it was good.
For tiny, this much of where is the cost in there? This much of a
I
those are the
mean,
tiny cups, right?
that's around the same, to be honest. Like a shot would be like the same amount because you value coffee in like what shots, right? So like
30 ml.
yeah. So like whatever the coffee it is, it's still one shot, and then you add milk into it or like water.
Oh.
Especially black coffee, it's just water and a shot.
It's either you have a really good concentrated shot of coffee or it's just watered down versions of the coffee in different ways.
I definitely prefer an espresso shot over a long black or whatever. All right, thank you everyone for submitting your hot takes. Like it was really fun going through them. Don't feel bad if
You're
you
all stupid.
like them. That's what I said. Don't feel bad if James didn't like them. Like I appreciated that you took the time off to post them. Had a fun episode, boys. What do you have?
Dion was my favorite with the questions.
Yeah.
He really helped me rant.
I really thought Kavinka was going to be like have the Damas question, but good job, Dion. Like you exceeded my already terrible low expectations.
Hari, Dulana.
All right. Okay. Thanks for joining in. Make sure to like and subscribe, share, listen on Spotify, like us on Spotify, listen on Apple Podcasts. If you don't have Spotify, Apple Podcasts is free. If you have an iOS device,
Which you paid for.
Okay, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Welcome to Hot Takes. I'm Sean Evans. It's what you should have said at the start, James.
Yeah, James. Jeez.
I don't know how this works.
This camera.
Okay, we'll do it now. James, just say it.
No, we don't have.
Nah. Because like I don't even get the reference. So like I'm just gonna be like, welcome to Sean Evans.